Most of us aspire to get a good job, enjoy our spare time, and retire in comfort. And then there are the outliers. People doing weird and wonderful things and ignoring the whole system. This series is about pursuing dreams against all odds and with great success. It's about why some people choose no ordinary life.
I lost my heart in a laundromat. Now I'm settled, just me and my cat. I bought a truck, now I drive around, singing my songs all over this town. Lucky for you, this episode of No Ordinary Life isn't about my musical career. But there's no shortage of folks here in Nova Scotia who do take their musical ambitions very seriously. And we're going to meet two of them who work really hard to share their talent with the world. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are we living? Are we pretending? Are we drinking? Or forgetting?
Lisa Richard is a singer-songwriter who decided to take the leap into being a professional musician a little later in life than most. You might be surprised to learn that she's a practicing chiropractor too.
To me, it's about the music and sharing the stories, because every song that I've written so far, it's either a personal experience, something I've gone through, or something, you know, people that are close to me are going through, or they are talking to me about. So it's about sharing some of those stories with people to connect with them, just giving people some positive energy and a break from some of the not so great things that are going on around us sometimes, right? It's nice to have that balance.
In a 100-pound backpack, she wears scrubs, and what she does to save you from taking your last breath. He climbs a ladder to a burning building. He's always there in case you need it.
You know, some people have a very prescriptive way of writing, which is very successful, where, you know, you book a time slot at maybe a publishing house or some kind of a space so that you can sit there with one or two people and hammer out some ideas and see where it goes. A lot of time it is myself driving in a vehicle and something pops into my head and I have to voice record it so I don't forget. So thank goodness for voice recorders, because that's where I save a lot of my stuff.
Help me cross the street to get to school. Taught me how to read the golden rule. And I won't forget.
As a matter of fact, I was probably about 7 years old and started writing a song to welcome people coming to the fishing wharf where I lived, and we would sing to the fishermen. So I taught my friends the song, and we would sing as they were going to their fishing boats to welcome them to the wharf, and then we would sing to them when they left the wharf this song that I wrote when I was 7. So yeah, I've been doing this all my life, but never thought that, you know, besides being a child doing those cute things at the time, that it was going to lead to what I'm doing now. You know, you dream of those things, but in reality, how do you make that happen? Being a kid living in a fishing village of about 25, 30 people, to being on stage with people like Vince Gill and the Time Jumpers. How does that happen?
Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take them even though you can. Here we go.
I've been on stage with them several times since. Coming full circle, because that started back in 2017-18, that I was able to be a special guest with them. I've actually now get to play at that same venue, and it's a show called Backstage Nashville. So as much as I started being able to do this cover song with them during that show, then at this point I'm getting to bring my own music to that same stage where I stood beside him and the Time Jumpers, Vince Gill and the Time Jumpers, and now I'm singing my own written music and opening for these songwriters like Tony Arata. You might not know his name, but he wrote the song The Dance for Garth Brooks. I got to open for him. Meeting a lot of people in Nashville and creating and developing relationships with folks there was the development of the opportunity to be on stage with them. So they wouldn't have necessarily known who I was or what I was doing unless I was making those relationships and spending time down there. And they had a guest opening spot the night that they were doing their show at 3rd and Lindsley with the Time Jumpers, and they asked me to come backstage and asked me what I wanted to sing, and the rest is history. I'll go one step further to say, how does a kid from a tiny fishing village of about 25 people end up in Nashville writing music on, on Music Row with amazing songwriters, and yes, getting the opportunity to meet and be a guest with some of these huge names on stage. I wish I could tell you exactly how that happened. I just keep meeting people and doing what I love, and I think that's what people need to do, whatever it is that they love to do. Just keep doing what you love to do. The opportunities will find you if you're doing what you love to do. And I've loved doing this since I was singing to the fishermen in New Mills on the wharf, welcoming them to, their job, going fishing.
That is so much better.
Zoe, we haven't even started yet.
Oh, so Lisa, why chiropractic?
When I was in a car accident, when I was a kid, I had a lot of issues afterwards with my neck, my jaw, headaches, alongside of having a lot of facial reconstruction that I had to have at the time. So many surgeries, I went through many surgeries, and even the surgeries would take its toll on my neck, upper back, and jaw. So I went to a chiropractor for the first time and never heard of chiropractor before. Mm-hmm. But it was my athletic therapist at University of New Brunswick that mentioned it to me and that I should probably go and check it out. And I'm so glad that I did, because I went, I had my first treatment and completely changed my career at the time. I was going into athletic therapy, mm-hmm. which is a great career to get into. But once I actually went to a chiropractor and had my body adjusted, my neck, my back, everything adjusted properly, I was sold after that first treatment. I was going to become a chiropractor. It was that simple.
Even when you describe your accident, and I'm starting to see this is a Lisa thing, but everything you describe as adversity, you're looking at it like it was an opportunity.
It was. I mean, I would have never heard about chiropractic as soon in my journey mm-hmm. had that not happened to me. Being in that car accident led me down that road through someone else that had heard about chiropractic, and the rest is history, as they say.
And you're talking about being a chiropractor as passionately as you talk about being a musician. This is strange to me. This is supposed to be the serious place,
It's a blessing and a curse to have two things that you absolutely love, but I do. I actually love. To this day, I've been doing this for 25 years this year, and I can't believe I'm saying that. dating myself. But I absolutely love doing what I do. I still practice part-time, and I see every age group from children to people that are 90 plus years old, and everybody has a story and why they came in, and I love getting to know people and seeing where I can help them along their health journey.
Goodness, okay, so the big question, if your music career continues on the trajectory that it's on and you had the chance to just let everything else go and go full-time, what happens with being a chiropractor?
I have struggled with this for a while, and because certainly pre-COVID, there was a lot of movement happening towards that, potentially, but never really letting everything go. And I don't think I ever could let my license go. So I can't imagine completely giving that up and not being able to help people if I physically can. There are chiropractors that have practiced well into their 70s, early 80s.
You're so cool. I'm asking you if you'd give it all up for your dream of music, and you're like, but I'll still be definitely doing this into my 80s. Like, I mean, who has that two passions that complement one another so perfectly?
After growing up in an extremely talented musical family, perhaps it shouldn't be surprising that Zamani started getting noticed for her original music at the young age of 15. Her music has earned her 4 East Coast Music Awards, 6 African Nova Scotian Music Awards, and way too many more to mention. And this is all by the time she's 23. And now, to top it all off, she's studying architecture at university. Who has time for all that?
I want more than attention. Can I get your affection? And baby, can you let me know what's your intention? I became a musician by the influence of my family. My family is very musical. Those influences kind of like seeped into my veins at a young age. It was inevitable that I was gonna end up doing this in some capacity. Myself and you, too much, too soon. Maybe I loved you too soon. Too confident, tiny butterflies. These days, I've been doing a lot more performing, balancing music and school, and architecture school is really, really, really intense, and I'm enjoying every minute of it, but it's definitely time consuming, and I will not sugarcoat that. I think with the balance of school and music, like, it's so interesting because architecture and music, they converge a lot, they overlap. What's your My mom always said to me before I started school, she was like, think of this as like a degree in creativity, because these skills will transcend architecture, music, art. I like to paint and do visual art. I make jewelry. And so all of those fields, there's an underlying connection between all of them. I also see myself continuing my music. I always say I have 2 plan A's. The 2 will coexist, and I will do both. I will never not do music. I could never do that. It's ingrained in me. It's part of who I am. It's something I love to do, and I'm always doing, whether I'm aware of it or not. During the pandemic, I wrote a lot because, of course, I had a lot of time on my hands, nowhere to go. And so I wrote a song about love, and it's really kind of about the perspective of someone who relishes being vain in love and have no regard for the other person's feelings. Of course, that's not me. Every late night when I call ya, I don't really need you, I just want ya. Might have led you on, but baby, that's alright. Doesn't matter, cause you coming over tonight. Know you got a lot on your mind, but
wasting your time. I like it how we keep it undefined. Cause baby, yes, I'm mine. Calling you mine.
Selfish was actually awarded an ECMA for R&B Soul Recording of the Year. And I also received African Canadian Artist of the Year that year, which was like double whammy. It was really cool. I'm very grateful for that. Really blessed to receive that award. I think being here in Halifax has a huge influence on my music, because while I did grow up listening to a lot of jazz and soul and R&B, I really do have a love for like folk music, and I have a love for that acoustic sound. I even want to like write some of that. I need to learn how to play guitar first, because it's such a like intimate instrument to write songs on. It's just you and the guitar, you know. Our music scene is growing and developing and changing, and having artists in like R&B genres and hip hop, in soul and gospel, in those categories, in like the rising star category and artist of the year category, is something that like really helps to show what's really happening here on the East Coast. There's so much happening here. It's like a hotbed, and it's you know, we're starting to get our recognition, and I just want to see that continue to soar. And I want to see my friends, my friends in music continue to soar and to win these awards. And yeah, I think that's why it's so special and important, because it shows the people coming up what they're capable of, and it shows the world what we have going on here and what we're capable of.
From the top.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, seriously, please. I
Yes.
really want to try this.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, that was good. Okay, I know.
Save.
Yeah, thanks. I tried to improvise a little bit
Yeah.
there, you know. I didn't quite know where I was gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
The keys ended. I know that you do play the piano, but most of your work takes place somewhere else
It does.
these days.
On the computer screen.
On the computer screen, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Would that be the kind of thing that we could go and try out, and
Absolutely.
maybe take a little more seriously than
Absolutely.
this? Because I really would love to learn how to produce something
we
just
can-
simple.
Writing words to a song is harder than it seems. Don't wanna leave out anything. Trying to find the words to say. Only want to communicate. Only want you.
Your studio is awesome,
Thank you.
and it's right in your house.
It's right here. It's easy access, but I can't take all the credit because my parents built this studio just shortly after we moved here. Now I've kind of, you know, gotten to a point where it's become like my music home.
Aw.
And my dad would always produce his songs out here, and I would kind of follow him down here once I got old enough to like reach these buttons and play
There's
with
a lot of
things.
buttons.
There's a lot of buttons. And eventually I learned how to kind of do it on my own, with my dad's help. So here we are in the studio.
So they handed you the keys.
They certainly did.
So do you do your creative work in here?
It really depends on the day, on the song. Most times, the great thing about technology is I can kind of make music from wherever I am. So wherever I can bring my laptop, I can make a song. I can open up Logic and use just the keyboard on my laptop as like a MIDI keyboard. Convenient because you're working with a small little space. But I can get my songs to a certain point, a good enough point where I can then take them out here and then play them on the big speakers, mix everything, make it sound nice. And then this is where I like to do all of my vocal recording and vocal production. That's, I think, kind of like the most fun part. Once I get to that part, I'm like really having fun. I feel like I'm in the home stretch of a song.
Yeah,
when I'm at that
you've
point.
got your materials and you're finally sort of building
Definitely,
it.
yeah.
I'm actually just thinking about you in like architecture class, listening and then taking a little break and then...
It's happened before.
Okay, this is going to be a really, maybe a bad question, but this thing doesn't make noise, right?
No, it's the sound, kind of like, it's sound comes through it.
And you
And it
manipulate
goes back
the
out.
noise.
So
Yeah.
you manipulate it, and you can change the levels of things. And
Yeah, but with your program, are you in
Logic? Yes,
So
Logic.
you have all the instruments at your fingertips.
Absolutely. There's one I really love. It's called the Airways synth, and it's in this song I have
Cool.
up here. I could play a little piece of it here. So it's very airy. It's very like light and big.
It's really big in your chest, like it's
So I love to use that for my choruses.
that tugs at you big time, eh?
Yes,
That's-
definitely. I just really love using those like really big sounds for my choruses. I love things that sound really distant and far away and make you feel like you're in a big space so that when you close your eyes, it feels like the music is happening all around you. The sound is a little bit more warm,
Yeah.
so it's closer to you, and it feels. If you're, I'm sure you've heard of synesthesia before. No, it's it's where you kind of associate music or sounds with colors or things like that.
Yeah, okay.
And so,
That's amazing.
like this kind of sound, I would say, is associated with like a warmer color, like orange or yellow, and then that kind of airways, the big synth would be a little bit more of like a purple or a blue.
Yep.
Because it feels cooler, more distant.
Yep, you're right. That one actually feels like really close, like it's wrapping around you.
Exactly. Yeah. Through that, I have my signatures that I always kind of go straight to.
Yeah.
And then I go and find other things that I haven't used before and layer them.
And draw them in and layer them. And then on top of it all, you're writing lyrics and singing. Mm-hmm. This is all, you do all the things.
Yes, I try, I do.
Beautifully, I might add.
One thing I love about that is just kind of, when you want to kind of spend some time by yourself, it's really great because I can kind of do the whole thing from beginning to end.
Right.
This is a song called Waterfall, and I think what's fun about this one is there's a lot of vocals going on here, probably like hundreds, and it's all
Is that
it's all my voice.
vocals?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Let's turn this up. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm missing you. And I'm trying not to hate myself for waiting on you. All this feelings got me running back to the shit I wish I never knew. Waking up in the middle of my sleep, vivid dreams of you. I tell you you're no good at loving. Rain, you make it go. Just give me a snippet.
I'm like hesitant to use the auto-tune word. I don't know if that's but can you make anyone sound really good?
You certainly can.
Is that an easy thing to do?
Oh yeah. There's multiple ways you can do that here. If you want to go for that like T-Pain sound,
I mean, it'd be cool with
you
it.
can just
That's what you wanted to do.
turn it all the way up.
If you wanted
We
me
can
to
totally
like
do that. I have to hook up the microphone here.
2, 1, go.
Heart and soul, I fell in love with you, heart and soul, the way a fool would do madly, because you held me tight.
But all I is in the night.
Heart and soul, I beg to be adored, lost control. Come on!
And tumbled overboard gladly.